This is the Texas Tinfoil Podcast.
So today's I guess today's event is it's about giants, as we like to call. Me personally, man, let's just get real quick into this. I do believe in giants. It's in the good book, in Genesis. I know there's in the New Testament as well. What is it? Luke or Jude?
Well, for the giants in the Old Testament, the
Genesis.
other term in the Old Testament in Genesis, they're referred to as Nephilim.
The Nephilims, yeah.
And then in the New Testament, they make reference to it in the book of Jude.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly where, but I know it's near the middle when it speaks of Jude. Kind of has an off comment about the angels
as well.
Yeah, about the angels leaving their estate, or Okaterion is the word they used in Greek. So whatever that means, whether it be their dimension or their body, angel body that we don't fully understand, they left that in order to consummate with women and then have children.
Basically left the spiritual world to go into the physical world to have children. That's the most people popular. who need to dumb it down real quick. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, some more popular reading of that.
But as I said, I do believe in the good book, and I do believe that there's giants. It speaks of it in the good book. I am a believer. I am a little religious. To each their own. I have my opinions. Everybody else has their opinions. I respect everybody's opinions, vice versa. But other than that, this story is about a man named Andrew Dawson. This happened. It's an older story. It happened, I think, in 2002. I want to say 2022. Excuse me. That's way too much.
This is not that old, bro. Well, before we get into this, I'm gonna pop a brew. I'll be doing Voodoo Ranger Juice Horse.
I'm doing a gin and juice.
Cheers.
On my red Solo. May 2022 is when the supposed video of the giant was done in Canada. Andrew was apparently traveling with a friend. And when he was traveling with his buddy, he happened to pick up his camera and he was looking at the mountains, and he recorded a figure which looked humanoid, like, the little shape and all that, He wasn't really he's just a normal TikToker that maybe had maybe 5 or 10 views or people, maybe 200. But when this thing came out on his TikTok, he ended up gaining 56,000 followers, which was crazy because, that's how much momentum it brought. And I'm pretty sure he's got more followers now.
Yeah.
If you look on the video, and like I said, he's gonna Tex will post a picture of what it looks like. You can see a humanoid, which I would say, okay, if it was me looking from the inside out, to see what was going on, I can see where he would think, it's a humanoid figure thing just by the way the shape, But sometimes our eyes can play tricks on us too. I see it as that. And so, standing on top of a mountain in Canada, that, you can you can kind of imagine. So that being said, this is phenomenal. If it's real, it's phenomenal. You know what I mean? If it's real, this is the most eye-catching, state proof, kind of that there's giants out there, real giants. And I've seen, I believe there was a thing on giants too, wasn't there, Tex? In the Middle East about our soldiers actually fighting something like that.
Again, it's all hearsay. It's rumor that there was a giant that they had to go and take out. it wasn't an active mission until a group of Army soldiers came up missing in Afghanistan, and so they sent a search party to go figure out what happened. And they found their gear and a bunch of other stuff strewn about. And of course, Afghanistan's full of caves, so they had spread out to see where these guys had went and why their gear was everywhere. Came across a supposed giant inside of this cave, and they opened fire and took him out with with the modern weaponry we have. And again, this is all rumor. None of it is guaranteed to be true, so take it with a grain of salt. But the soldiers that went in the cave after they took this thing down, it was a giant with red hair, supposedly. When they took it out, they went into the cave that he was in and found their other comrades laying there, mostly in pieces. Apparently, this giant had killed all of them, taken them into the cave, and began to eat them.
But it's crazy because when you look at all these, stuff about giants, it dates back way before Christ too, people have actively, so this is just like, I made this up about giant people being super tall, and this is something that's been around for ages, man, years, even before Christ, that's, you even hear about stories about, David and Goliath. Was Goliath really a Nephilim at the time, because they said he was pretty big.
Possibly.
But we don't know, that's just a story in the good book. But, you hear like the Odyssey, for instance, Homer finding like Cyclopses and, Hercules slaying giants, I mean, you hear a lot of, craziness. So, I mean, I can see where all this goes, So I get it. This guy may have seen a giant. Me, do I believe it though? Probably. That's real iffy with me. I'm, like I've always said, I'm the guy that if I could see it, touch it, then it's real. Or if I can physically see it with my own eyes, okay, I got you. I can vouch for you there. It's one of those things, Tex, like, can I literally see this for what it is, or can I get an understanding of what's going on?
Yeah, is there a natural explanation?
It's got to be natural, you know it is,
right? And some things I will admit in the world are completely unexplainable. At least at the time that we are in now, there are a lot of things that we can't explain away.
So this Andrew guy sees this, and posts it on TikTok. It's gaining momentum. People are asking him questions. Was it real? Did you actually see it? He's like, yeah, I have it on my TikTok. Look it up. Certain things. Well, shortly after, he starts getting weird like things going to happen to him. So, for instance, he kept on saying that the CIA came to visit him. And then after the CIA, the Canadian version of the CIA, which is called the CSIS, came to see him and told him to take the video down. And then supposedly, I don't know if this is true, but supposedly that the military came and started asking questions about, this stuff. And when I was reading this story, I kind of told Tex, if the military did get involved, maybe he saw something, like maybe the camera caught, a military thing. Maybe that giant that he thought was a giant was maybe a weapon, or, part of a military base. I mean, something, That's what I first thought when I was talking to Texas about this. But Tex actually pointed something that when he was on his research end that he pulled up, and that people were saying that this is what it was probably actually there, because it's on top of the mountain, isn't it, where he was kind of filming everything. And I'll let Texas tell you what he's found on that.
people have gone to that mountain, and there are videos of these people who have seen what's actually up there, and it's not a humanoid figure. It's not a giant. It's a cell tower, relay tower, or something like that that has a bunch of these dishes on this tower. So that's more than likely what it is, and I believe that because during the original video, Dawson actually says you can see it moving. When you pause the video, it's not moving. And I don't mean when you pause the video and stare at the screen. I mean when you pause it to see where it was as they're driving, and you mark it. You can mark it with your finger on the screen, and then watch the rest of the video. It doesn't move from that spot.
Do you think maybe he thought it was moving because the car was moving, so it kind of made it that illusion that it was probably walking or something? You think
Possibly.
That would be like an explanation, right?
Yeah, because from his perspective, this thing is sitting up there. It's a tower. It's kind of shadowed out or fogged out, by the clouds and the mountains or whatever. On the video, it does kind of look like something. I mean, I wouldn't say a giant, but it's not moving. And the guy lives there, so you got to ask the question: has he ever seen it before? And if he has,
right.
If he hasn't, I mean, then maybe it would be something that's disturbing to him.
But as far as Andrew goes, these guys are, they start, supposedly harassing him.
Dawson sees a fucking giant on the side of this mountain, and then they just start showing up to his house. That's weird. He had to have done something for that to happen. What did he do?
Right.
Like, what led up to that?
So, from my understanding, he tries to go up the mountain in the morning time, sometime in the morning, because when you look at it, it's really dark, so it's either at nighttime or in the morning time going up. And when he's driving up, there's I'm going to say a government official supposedly blocking the road.
Mm-hmm.
But it's weird because when you look at it, it's just one guy. There's not a plethora of guys, Usually if a government official's rolling deep, he's going to have at least another 2 guys with him at least, guarding whatever the heck is going on. Or there might be military involved with this one guy, there's just so much, there. Even though they're 2 different entities, they're still part of government, you know what I mean? And they would probably work together to say, hey, you can be the guy to talk to them. We'll just be the guys to protect this area, while you tell them what they need to know and get them the hell out or something. That's what's fishy about this, When you look at it, that's what's fishy. Like, you can't really, what, do I want to believe it? Do I not?
Well, I do understand that the CIA works abroad. Some people don't believe that they work in Canada, which is laughable. But the CSIS, which is another intelligence agency for Canada, I don't believe that they're out there parked in the snow or on these side streets telling people, "Hey, man, the road's closed." It's a little weird for them to be out there doing that. Wouldn't it be somebody who is law enforcement? Wouldn't it be their
maybe like a sheriff, their version of a sheriff or a game warden or something?
It'd be like their Mounties or something, telling people, "Hey, this road's closed. You're gonna take off." There would be signage. There would be something there, and not just some guy parked.
Yeah, you'd see a detour. You'd either see a detour or roadblock, or please turn back around. This was blocked.
And so after that, this is when this guy is supposedly visited by these government agencies, right?
Yeah, basically.
So before they go visit the guy, he goes up there. They tell him to stop, tell him to turn around, that the road's closed, and then he leaves, right? But
yeah,
there's some things that aren't going together. So this guy goes back home, right? And then the CIA, FBI, ABC alphabet soup guys are hanging out, just fucking. So that they start stalking and harassing them, right?
They're chilling and drinking brews, bro, while they're harassing them. Fuck it.
No, I mean, I'm no spy, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm no spy. I mean, I don't even do very good on Metal Gear Solid, bro. So like, I'm not very good at thinking around. But if I'm spying on somebody, I'm not gonna park directly across the fucking street. I just picture Dawson, bro, just walking up to his window. And the fucking FBI and CIA, bro, just standing out there just watching his ass. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I don't buy that shit at all. Fuck out of here.
Oh God, that's
No
great.
way. No, we're making the joke about them being outside of his apartment or whatever because the guy actually, one of his TikTok, I guess uploads he has is of him going to the window, looking through his blinds, and that same black Dodge vehicle. I don't know
that was up on the mountains.
Right. This car that was parked up there that told him to leave is now parked across the street in front of his I'm gonna say his apartment, I guess.
His apartment complex or whatever.
So
I think it's like a little house or whatever.
So he runs out of his apartment to go confront this guy, who then spins out and takes off.
Right.
He takes a little page out of the Fast and Furious, takes off, and it's really, really distinct exhausts that this guy has. Most government vehicles, granted, it could have been a repo. It could have been something like they caught some drug dealers and then they just took possession of the vehicle. That does happen, but you don't want something that's going to be conspicuous, right?
Yeah,
you want to blend in.
And I mean the car, when you look at it, he's all, "Hey, who are you?" The car like speeds off like fucking.
I don't buy all that, but so all right. So after this, the guy later, he gets you said harassed, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
And they just fucking go to this fucking house, bro, and they tell this guy, "Hey, you're gonna have to upload a video, and the video you're gonna upload is saying that this giant that you found and all this stuff that you've been making this TikTok, whatever content on, that it's not real."
Yeah, you're gonna have to say that. And then when you look at it, it's crazy because when you go to see his thing where he talks about, "I'm sorry," he makes an apology saying, "I'm sorry, it's not real." People are saying he's looking away like he's being coerced into doing this.
Now,
this man is either a badass actor or it's really happening because I mean, give the guy an Oscar, man. Come on.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't even put him on an episode of House or CSI or whatever. Like, to be real, like, that was terrible acting, bro. In my opinion, when I saw that, I was like, look, and we'll leave all that in there. I mean, if I'm making someone do a video to debunk themselves or admit what they're doing is a lie,
right?
Why would I only do one take if the guy does something I don't like? And what I would not like would be for this guy to give off the vibes that it's not natural, and for him to look at me or someone on my team off camera multiple times. That sends all of the signals that something's not right. Right. So why would you want that? But anyway.
Yeah, that would make sense because like well, I don't think it would make sense, honestly, but it's like you see that and then you're like, well, I don't know.
I have a lot of problems with that. I believe that
there's a lot of inconsistencies. I'll give you that.
Why, if this guy is indeed getting harassed and they show up to his house and do all this, if they have this type of authority, because they have more power in Canada than they do in the United States.
Oh, I believe it.
Like, they're able to put. I mean, look at
they're basically like the IRS. They can do it.
I mean, I don't want to get into the political stuff, but Canada has they don't have a whole lot of protections for the citizens there. So, if they showed up over there and this was a big enough deal, why wouldn't they just make him delete his account altogether?
Right. Because that's what they would do to us here. They just delete it. They wouldn't think twice. It's an easy fix to delete.
Right.
All that stuff is gone,
And the people that re-uploaded that or recorded that, they can just, there's algorithms. They can just ban that video anytime something's re-uploaded. Now, granted, it may take time for it to just eventually filter itself out, but there are easy, cheap ways around this. You don't have to go to somebody's house, kick their door in, and fucking threaten them. Like, you don't have to do any of that.
Right.
That doesn't seem like a very tactical thing to do. When you could.
It's not progressive at all. It's just
not when you could just ban the guy outright and be done with it.
Yeah.
and it takes no effort. You can have two guys that are sitting in a blocked off AT&T building in fucking New York or somewhere in Edmonton or somewhere, and just say, all right, delete, and then that's it. The guy's gone. That's the end of that.
That's
like
it.
there are backdoors to all this stuff, man, and the government has access to all of that. And if you don't believe that, I've got some desert swampland to tell you.
Oh yeah. That being said, it all started with the giant, and I'm pretty sure you have some theories on this, don't you, Tex?
I do.
About all this, how it went down, maybe.
I do. Just based on the stuff that I've read and everything I've looked at, I've kind of drawn my own conclusions. Now, again, I'm not like a sweaty tryhard that doesn't leave the basement. I just try to apply stuff that's seems to me pretty common sense, and I could be completely wrong, and I'm willing to accept it. If giants are real, I don't care one way or the other. The truth is what's important, and
Right.
that's what matters. But if you guys haven't picked up the story, you're not alone. The vast majority of people have never heard of this, and that's fine. But what I believe happened is Andrew Dawson, assuming this is really the guy was on TikTok for a lot of years. I don't have TikTok, but this is just in the research I've done. He was on TikTok for a lot of years. He was like a music producer or creator. He was an artist. He considered himself to be a performer.
That's crazy because I didn't even know that until you told me that. So that's interesting.
When I did some digging into his past, or at least his social media past, that's what I was able to find. That's how I was able to find his fiance or significant other, whatever she is. She made some videos about his passing away, and tons of his friends have put and family have put their condolences and a bunch of other comments, things like that. So if the guy really is gone, which unfortunately I do believe that he is,
Yeah.
but I will say that I don't believe it's tied to this giant thing.
Um,
I believe that he didn't make a big enough splash on TikTok with his music or any of the other stuff he was doing. I believe that he probably did have some sort of mental illness, such as depression. Possibly could have been plaguing him for a good while. I don't know the
right.
guy or the situation directly. This is just me thinking outside the box for a second. Maybe he had that with him for a while, and music and performing was part of an outlet to not escape that, but to help cope with that.
Yeah. We all
And that
have
was,
coping
yeah.
mechanisms with stuff like that, so I get it.
Let's say that didn't go anywhere. It doesn't matter, and just messing around because he lived in the area. I believe he knew what it was, but I think he just kind of did this video jokingly, and somehow overnight just popped up as one of the most viral videos. And TikTok
Right.
is like that. It's just weird algorithms that they have on all these different social media platforms. But so the guy says, "Well, let's take a step further. Let's go by again. Let's record this." I think he knew that that's what it was because the second video that he took of the mountain was at a different angle, and you can see that the elevation is lower and it's further up the road, and you can see that that tower is completely covered by the back of the mountain, so it's obscured.
Right.
You don't see it, and I believe he was trying to make what, if you are at all familiar with the internet or Reddit, there's a thing called an ARG, which is an alternate reality game. That basically means you are creating an alternate reality in the reality that we live in here. Any TV show you watch, right?
No, yeah, I got
Law
you.
and Order is technically an ARG because
Oh,
it
I
does
love that shit, dude. Law
right
and Order is amazing.
because it's
Hmm.
close enough to reality that it's in this universe, but the people are fictional and things like that. Okay, so that breaks it down as about as good as I can get it.
Right, for
I,
that
I believe
AGI is what you call it.
AV an ARG alternate reality game.
ARG. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah.
So I believe the guy was doing that. I believe he was making some good content. He got a pretty good idea to make this, to ride this out because it blew up. But I also believe that he had no way of coming up with content past this because you can only do this so many times where you're going to go look for
Oh
this
yeah, for sure.
this giant that's in the mountains. And
I
I think
would
it
I would go as far as doing other cryptids if that was me.
right, but for a fact you hit a gold mine because this guy got millions of views,
Oh
in a few
yeah, I
days.
think what was it like when I saw one of the things, I don't know which platform it was on, but I saw it was at 20 million. But I think on the TikTok it's like 3.5 million or something hits
I,
on it.
I believe the millions are total views for that, and
Right.
nothing he had prior to the giant stuff was anywhere near that high. So that's
No.
that's what makes me believe that for several things. It makes me
But I
believe
mean
that
they
it
were pretty high, like in the 7K,
20, yeah,
700Ks, 20Ks.
between 20
But
and 50,000 on average on his other
but
videos.
not like that giant story, man. And
Right.
the stuff after that, it's pretty big. They're like million hits, 2 million hits, the just depending on how many, but I'm pretty sure it was like a million or something on each hit. So that's
Well,
pretty good.
I know that looking at it now, with it being, last year or whatever,
Right.
each one has about 4 or 5 million on each video. But what I'm to get back to what I'm at here, I think that he didn't have a way to exactly end that ARG.
Oh yeah.
Most of these people that do this stuff, it's on Reddit. You can go in and just type that in, and there are tons of. It's all done through text. Some people have YouTube links where they've done shorts and skits and stuff like
Oh
that
yeah.
to kind of add to the flavor of their ARGs. But I believe that this is more or less, to break it down, that's what I think it is. I think that he wasn't able to find a way to properly end this. And so when he came out with the video that, hey, it was all fake and staged, everybody blew up in the comments saying, oh, it's forced because everyone wants to believe that the giant's real. Everyone wants to believe
Right.
again. It's a conspiracy theory. All the governments around the world are in on this, that kind of thing. So
you got to see the comments on this. It's phenomenally crazy. I say phenomenally crazy because they've always wanted to do something, or they want to, grasp, something. They want to believe in something, man. Like just with like the alien hits. Somebody wants to believe there's something really out there. Do I believe something's out there? Yeah, why not?
yeah,
Who was not to say that there's something out there? Can we make contact? I'm sure we have already, but do they tell us about it? No. Why go through all that trouble and cause a wide world panic for something that's because people get crazy, with this stuff.
yeah.
Texting, you even know, something that people don't understand will freak out for the littlest things. I mean, remember when we had that winter thing here that froze Texas and we lost basically the whole, if you look at our stores, they were all wiped clean. Everybody was being selfish and hoarding all this stupid stuff for no reason, just for like a 2 or 3 day spat.
Well, for the most part, that's a super condensed version of it, but that's more or less what it was. Everybody panicked, and when you panic, you don't make the best decisions, right?
Right.
So back just back to what I was. I'm going to finish this thought here. I just think that with him not exactly finding a way to end this, or not exactly having a way to shut this off, I think that he was just looking for a way out of it. Now, do not misunderstand. I'm not saying that had anything to do with his no longer being here. I believe that was a totally separate incident that had nothing to do with the ARG he was running.
Right.
The Giants.
Oh yeah.
Or sure. Giant in the Mountain. I believe it was that, because if the government, whoever that is,
whatever entity of that,
right? Whoever's running the show, right, for this situation, why would they care so much about this guy who got a couple million views on TikTok? Why would they not just delete his channel instead of delete the man? They could have done both. Right. They could have deleted the channel and then done away with him. Now, nowhere in the obituary that was put out does it say how he lost his life. It doesn't give any details. It just says that he's no longer with us, and it lists his family that he leaves behind.
Right, like a regular obituary.
Right. So he's got lots of family, aunts, uncles, grandparents, children, wife, girlfriend, whatever she is, fiance. And of course, like I said, she put out a video which has now been deleted. 2 of them, I believe, have been deleted, where she was in tears mourning the loss of him. If he ever just decided to come out and say, "Hey guys, it was just like a big prank, it was just an ARG. Hope you guys liked it. And now that I've got 500,000 subscribers and 8 or 9 million views on all these videos, I'm gonna go back to focusing on my music career." He could have easily just done something like that,
right?
And a large portion of those people would have left, granted, but it was just one of those things. He could have done that, and the people that didn't leave would have eventually went into the music stuff that he was doing again, or whatever.
Or they actually liked what he did, like it probably was like, "Hey man, that was really believable. That was a good job." There are people that are actually see the positive in it.
Right.
Some will see negative, some will see positive. You just got those 2 types of people.
And he's got so much. He's got so many people watching his stuff at this point. He's got so many views that if he decided to go back into any other part of his music career, follow it, or even do something different, like create another ARG and turn that into like his channel identity, he would already have so many people watching this stuff that he would continue to make pretty good amount of money and continue to further his, I guess, TikTok influence, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But instead, he did none of those things, and he's just gone now. I mean, either the guy just really doesn't want to have anything to do with social media, and he just wanted to just check out and be gone with that altogether, or the less cool thing, which is he
passed, and
he deleted himself, and
Yeah, that was the end of that.
Unfortunately, man, he has a woman that actually gives a shit about him and kids, man, and that's
Right.
really, there's no joking about that. That's shitty.
There's a that's the reality of it, you know.
And if it was the government, like I said, they could have easily just deleted his channel,
Oh
and
yeah.
they could have found a way to, keep him from going on there. It would have not been very difficult at all.
No, I wouldn't at all.
And considering, like I said, he didn't capitalize on it, which would have been the most common sense thing. That again makes me believe that, you know, he could be completely live and well, and just this could have been again one of the biggest ARGs, ever perpetrated on the people, and people are just spun up
believing
about
it. Yeah.
right?
And
Or
just keep them guessing for the longest.
right, but with no conclusive evidence on either way. I've done as much digging as everybody else and haven't conclusively found an answer to his situation on being alive and well or no longer being here. So.
But if y'all do find something on that, drop it on the comments so we can kind of look it up too, and that would be awesome.
I would have at least not gone alone for sure. I would have taken somebody.
I would have. I've taken friends or something to actually sit there and witness the whole thing with me. Aside of camera tricks aside, I would like to have somebody to say, "Oh yeah, I was with him. I saw that. That shit was real. I was there. I know what I saw." And have another buddy, yeah, I was there too, and have them record the same thing he's recording from 3 different camera angles. That way they can say that shit's legit. Like, hey, I recorded it too. So did I.
Yeah,
something.
Nobody's hallucinating, and that's the thing. Somebody's got to live to tell the story, right?
Right.
So, in my opinion, that would be what's important. In my opinion, that's what I would do. I'd go, if I'm going to do something like that, I'd go heavily armed. In my opinion, with something that I would think can handle what a supposed giant. And I'd bring some friends along and lots of batteries because I'm going to be recording a lot of stuff.
Oh, so yeah, for sure.
The guy didn't do any of that. And again, that's about as far as we can take that. So yeah. I think that for me, that covers my opinion on it. It's unfortunate that he's gone until we get any proof that he's not. I mean, that's just kind of where we're sitting.
Right.
So hopefully everybody out there that's watching this can do their own little research, dive into it, and figure it out for themselves, and see if they agree with the giant being real or not. In my opinion, it's not. I don't necessarily buy his story. So that's where I'm sitting on that. And with no malice or anything whatsoever, I just don't believe that it's real.
Yeah, same for me. I don't think it's real myself. Too many variables, as Texas said, like I said, I do believe in giants, but I don't think they're amongst us anymore. If they are, I need to see hard proof on it, me personally. Right. I want to see, actual camera footage of this thing, even trying to charge at people or something. I got to see something to make me believe that it is real. So, but as for me, I don't think the story is real, honestly. I want to believe in the story, but at the same time, like I said, there's too many variables, man. It's kind of hard to say, oh yeah, I believe it really is.
I mean, that pretty much squares it away, Mo, if you want to take us out of here.
But anyways, guys, this is the Texas Tinfoil Podcast. I'm your host, Moog, and my co-host, Texas. And we will see you on the next one. Peace out.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing.